Hey, folks, welcome back to Ketchikan. I couldn't believe I have an opportunity to fly another flight out of this scenery, but I tell you, yesterday with the PMDG was an experience. I must tell you my history with PMDG. I am a long-time PMGD customer. My first aircraft was the Queen of the Skies, the Boeing 747 for Microsoft Flight Simulator, A Century of Flight. I think that came out in either 1999 or year 2000. A century. I'm sorry, that's not true. Aught 3 was the Wright brothers flight. So Century of Flight came out in Aught 3 to Aught 4. I remember there was Microsoft 2002. I had that. I've had them all. Not Microsoft 98, which was great. Microsoft 2000 was a disaster. '02 was the one that introduced the moving cars on the freeways and the a lot of the 3D buildings and such. '04 Century of Flight was wonderful for a good long time, and there I bought the Queen of the Skies. I didn't have a lot of money, and I could only get one PMDG product. I wanted the best one. It was great, but I didn't realize at the time that the 747 only flew out of a handful of airports, and you had to be ready for long haul 10-hour flights, which aren't common sitting in a simulator. So since then, I purchased every Microsoft or every PMDG product available, and I've loved them all. But my only experience with the Airbus has been in the new Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and the AN32NX Neo project. So, and like all of us, we've been desperately awaiting the PMDG so we could get back in the Boeing. But in the meantime, I've learned quite a lot about Airbus, and here we are with the Fenix. Now, the Fenix is not a Neo, so it's not as fuel efficient as we have been used to. But a lot of the procedures are the same, and I'm excited to be able to bring this to you today. So we are doing the same flight as yesterday. We're unfortunately we're live time, live weather, and live traffic, and I think the winds are different today than they were yesterday. So the assigned runway might be different, but I think I'm going to try to force air traffic control to give us.
Yeah, 6011 to Center Post, discussion to maintain full 240.
Give us the runway we had yesterday. So let's get the jet bridge attached. Get the main entry door open. I hope it opens. There it goes. Main entry door did open. And we have ground power already attached, so we don't need that. Some baggage would be helpful. Get the baggage process started. And I found something about the Fenix that I absolutely do not like, and I'm about to show it to you. Everything about the Fenix has remarkable so far, but this little glitch kind of upset me, and I'll show you what it is. I went to the electronic flight bag, and I was trying to load the aircraft using my sim brief. Okay, import from sim brief. And here's my flight. Ketchikan to Anchorage. Here's a METAR. Winds are calm, 10 miles visibility, few clouds at 3. See, the winds are calm. I should have the runway of my choice, but I think air traffic control is going to force me on a runway I don't want. Few clouds at 300, overcast at 4600. Temperature dew point spread is a little bit close. Altimeter setting is close to standard. So no problem there. The problem gets to be in weight and balance. So here are my sim brief numbers. 131 passengers. We had 128 yesterday with the Boeing. We have a moderate amount of cargo, and we have a moderate amount of fuel. So if I push load aircraft, it's going to load the passengers and the fuel at the same time. Well, we all know that's a no-no. You can't do that. So what I did, I pushed the passenger number to 0. So I could load just the cargo and just the fuel. By the way, that changes the loading time from 22 minutes down to 8 minutes or 9 minutes. So I got rid of that. And then I push load. Load aircraft. And here we go, real time, 8 minutes. That's fine. But the problem is when I come back, it won't give me the option of loading just the passengers because the fuel and the cargo is already loaded. It will require me to start the whole process over again. So a little bit of a flaw in that you really ought not be loading passengers until the fuel's aboard. Anyway, ground services. GPU is attached, chocks and cones, left front door is open, cargo just got closed. I guess they're finished with the loading. Yes, they're finished. Boy, that didn't take them long at all to get that baggage loaded, did it? Okay, that's fine. So weight and balance is actively changing. You can see our gross weight, our zero fuel weight is all changing during the loading process for fuel and cargo. So let's get down to our. Here we are in the overhead. We have external power available. We're going to go ahead and use it. Power up. Battery 1. Battery 2. Hear those air conditioning fans come on in the background. Turn on the emergency exit, arm the emergency exit lights in the back, just in case someone needs to evacuate the aircraft quickly. Make sure that either nav 1 or nav 2 is on, and that will be fine for now. No smoking can come on. We'll leave the seatbelt sign off until we have the fuel on board. Crew oxygen supply can stay the way it is. Let's go to ground control and do a CVR test. That test is good. Ground control can come off. We'll go to the command evac and we will leave it on captain and purser. Let's do a command evac test. That is fine. We'll fire up the ADIR system. System number 1 to nav. System number 2 to nav. System number 3 to nav. We'll do a fire bottle test on the APU. That test is okay. We'll leave the fuel pumps off for right now. We have 28.6 on each of the batteries. That's fine. No power from the engines. Engines are off. Air conditioning is set to automatic, but we're not getting air conditioning from the PACX. The PACX are off. Cabin pressure is set to auto. The APU is not running. We'll do a test for smoke in the cargo area. That's fine. Cargo heat is not necessary today. We'll turn on the speakers for the VOR1 and the ILS and the marker. Kick up the reading light a little bit here. And that should be good for right now. Let's go back down and see how that loading is going. We're still loading. Still loading. Let's go to the ATSU menu and a company menu. We will initialize the flight by getting our flight information over the data link. We are Alaska Airlines flight number 43, traveling from Ketchikan to Anchorage. I don't know what that alternate is. I don't care. Almost 2 hours flight time. Today's date, there's the UTC time. Let's go back and get some weather request for Anchorage. METAR, current weather, TAF, forecasted weather, and we'll send. Return. Back to the McDo menu. FMGC, We are in an Airbus A320-200 with CFM 56 engines. I'm a little surprised that the thrust rating for the engine is not written here. Our AIRAC cycle is out of date, but we'll use it. Let's go to initialization. Initialize. We are ASA flight number 43. Cost index is 12. Cruise flight, I believe it's 360. 360, that is correct. Drop a pause is actually below 360. We could run into an issue where we engage the jet stream, a fast-moving ribbon of air. Associated turbulence can be expected, so we'll monitor that. We'll do a wind request. There's a whole bunch of wind. Let's go to the next page. Okay. Let's get back to our loading and see what the loading is doing. Okay, still loading.
Center 4949.
Go ahead.
Requesting speed under discretion into Boston, please.
What speed are you trying to do, slower or faster?
Slower, about 300 true if we could.
You said that, what are you doing now for indicated?
Apologies, we're currently doing 250 indicated, like to slow down.
4949 approved as requested.
4949 200.
Okay, runway 11 off of the Ketchikan 6 departure. And arrival is on runway 7 left. ILS to 7 left. And we're on the Yeska 6 arrival. And insert. That should be fine. Performance. And we're still loading. Okay, how about we go to... Okay, well this, unfortunately, while we're loading, this is not going to be accurate. So we need to really give that loading a little extra time. Aircraft loaded. Dismissed. Now here's the issue. Now I wanted to start the boarding process now that these two are finished. But the flight sim won't let me do that. The only thing I can do is reset all, go back to my flight, reload it from SimBrief. There's the flight. Go back to mass and balance. And now load the aircraft. And now with the I'm going to pretend. Now we waited the 11 minutes or 8 minutes or whatever it was to load the fuel and cargo. We never get that back. But what we'll do now is load in real time the passengers, which of course in the old scenario the passengers would have been loaded from minute 1, so the 22 minutes won't change. But this time we'll have the passengers loaded aboard.
Convoy 3903 across Albany at
we'll just
maintain
pretend
level 240.
that fuel and cargo has already been loaded. And here come the passengers. And now that we're loading passengers, there you see the passengers starting to board. I can go ahead and fire up the PACX menu, and we will start the flight. And you can hear the passenger shuffling in the background. Great. Well, let's get the ATIS.
Ketchikan International Information Delta, 1253 Zulu winds are calm. Visibility 10 miles. 300 few clouds. 4,600 overcast. Temperature 9, dew point 8. Current altimeter is 299er3. Arriving and departing runway 29er. Ketchikan International Information Delta, 1253 Zulu winds are calm. Visibility 10 miles. 300.
Well, runway 29 is what ATIS says, but I want runway 11, so that's what I'm going to ask for. Anchorage Center, Alaska 4-3, ready to copy.
Alaska 43 is cleared to Papa Alpha November Charlie. Climb via the PACX departure, with the transition, then aspire. Expect departure runway 11. Climb to 13,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 8 minutes after departure. Squawk 3413.
Alaska 43 is cleared to Papa Alpha November Charlie. Climb via the PACX departure, with the transition, then as filed. Climb to 13,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 8 minutes after departure. Squawk 3413.
Alaska 43 re-evac correct. Contact us for IFR release when number 1 for departure.
We'll contact you for IFR release. Alaska 43.
3413 on the squawk. The traffic TCAS system, traffic collision and avoidance system, is set to TA, traffic advisory. We'll switch that to TARA when we're out on the runway. The transponder right now is in the standby position. Flaps are up. Speed brake is up. Landing throttle handles are to idle. And we're pretty much left to that until we get
Envoy 3903, contact center 121.35. 2135, Envoy 3903.
flight directors are on, constraints are on. Our V2 speed we don't have yet. We haven't done that calculation yet. We do have a company message. Let's get our message. Company menu, receive messages. Oh, we have a load sheet. That's good. We'll accept the load sheet.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to welcome you aboard our flight. When you find your seat, please be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. Unless you're in the front row, please place all of your items in the overhead bins. If you have any trouble finding a location for your carry-on items, please let a flight attendant know and we would be happy to assist you. If the overhead bin is full after you put your carry-on inside of it, please close the bin as a courtesy to other passengers. Once all your items are put away, please clear the aisle and sit down in your seat to allow other passengers to find their seats as well. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please read the exit seating responsibilities in the safety card in the seat back in front of you. Please make sure you are willing and able to perform the actions required. If you are not able or prefer not to perform these actions, please let a flight attendant know so you can be reseated. You are free to use your portable electronic devices during the boarding process. We ask that larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart from the gate. Thank you and welcome aboard.
10 statute miles, wind 170 at 6, so fairly light winds. Temperature 13, dew point 3, that's a nice big temperature dew point spread. So clear skies, 2993 on the altimeter. That's real good weather. For the TAF, the forecast, temporary 340, that's from the north at 10, gust to 18, so a little stronger wind. but it doesn't change. It's 340 at 8 and then 340 at 10, so it's not changing. It's all from the north. So it's going from the south and then switching over to be from the north. But that's not a concern, and that weather is good weather. Now, let's just get our loading finished. .44 of the 131 are loaded. See, the problem with finishing up on the MiG-2 right now is that our numbers keep changing. Passenger list info. We can actually see the names and the seat location of our passengers. Rather interesting. And as we know, it takes less time to load the cargo and the fuel than it does the passengers. Once we get that fuel, now again, you know, in our world, we've already loaded the fuel and passengers fuel and cargo before we even started the passengers. But here's, we're coming upon the time for the second fuel loading, and we know that the fuel is totally done. We will come up here and get the seatbelt sign on. Let's turn the beacon on, the wing light on, get the crew oxygen supply on. We'll fire up the fuel tanks. We'll do a fire test on the suppression system for engine number 1 and for engine number 2. You remember we've already done one for the APU, so with the APU master, 1, 2, 3, with the APU start and the APU bleed. Still moving right along.
November 843 Juliet Sierra, contact Boston Center 123.75.
123.75, 3 Juliet Sierra.
APU is available. We'll get some bleed here too. I'm going to see if I can pull that ground cart. Oh, nope, see, I push, here's, uh-oh. We're going to have two power sources vying for attention. We've got the default ground tug coming into position, and we already have the Fenix ground tug there. So let's see what the ground tug does. Okay, well, I'm going to dismiss the default ground tug, and we'll come on board, and we'll see if we can't go to ground services here and kill that ground power unit. And there it goes. Okay, we're on internal power. I'm wondering if on the McDo these numbers will transfer automatically, or do I need to type them in? I'll find out. What a peaceful place. Ketchikan, Alaska. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. I'm just going to pause the video just to let those last few folks come aboard. You don't need to watch that, so I'll put you on pause. I brought you back just a little early. I found something interesting. When I first looked up, this battery level was at 97%. And then I looked up again, and it was at 99%. And now it's at 100%. So they even simulate the recharging of the fly pad. Just amazing. Okay, one more passenger to board. Aircraft loaded. Dismiss. Now we can finish up our McDo. Let's go to our calculator. Departure performance. And we're going to sync the final load sheet. Runway 11, dry. I want a flaps. I'm going to force a flaps 2 configuration. Don't force the no-go. Anti-ice off. PACX will be on.
12387 over 793. Stop.
So let's hit calculate. Great. Now I'm wondering if these numbers will automatically feed into the make do, or do I need to take these numbers with me? So let's find out. Nope, they're not going with me. So I need to bring them with me. 134, 135, 137. It was too much to hope for, right? Transition altitude of 18,000 feet. Flaps 2 down 0.1. Flex temp is 55. Climb phase is fine, cruise is fine, descent is fine. Block fuel, let's go to fuel right here. We'll put in our fuel of 9,000 kilos. Zero fuel weight, oops. Zero fuel weight is 57,461, 29 on the center of gravity. 57,461. Extra time, 3 hours, 2 minutes. That's fine. And we are set. We are loaded and set. Let's blow this popsicle stand. Ground services. Let's pull the chocks, pull the chocks and cones. Talk to folks on the ground.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead, flight deck. Confirm all ground checks complete. We're cleared to pressurize the hydraulics. Once that check is completed, all doors and panels are closed, no issues found. You can pressurize the hydraulics anytime now. Cockpit to ground. Go ahead, flight deck. We will be ready shortly. Understood.
We don't need a pushback clearance because we are at a uncontrolled airport. There goes the jet bridge.
And your large devices are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables and seat backs are in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, secure doors for departure.
Leader 5003, cross Albany at maintain 16,000, Albany altimeter 3012.
Albany 16,000, 3012 for 5003.
How do I move this trim wheel? Can I move this trim wheel? I don't seem to be able to move the trim wheel. I have the same problem in the Fenix that I have in the PMDG. I can't set the trim. Interesting. Okay. Let's check the systems here. Engines are not running. Bleed air is available. Pressure is closed, as all doors are closed. Electrics, we are on the APU. All 3 hydraulic systems are not actuated. Fuel, crossfeed is closed. Fuel levels are fine. APU is running. Air conditioning is good. Doors are closed. Wheels are not overheated. And flight controls do not yet have hydraulics on them. Okay. Ketchikan traffic. Alaska 43 pushing from gate number 1. Ketchikan. Parking brake is off. The simulator is saying remove wheel chocks, but I don't think wheel chocks are on. I'm pretty sure I pulled the chocks, didn't I? Chocks and cones are off. Oh, here's what we need to do. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to taxi my own airplane. This is not good. No, this is not good. Yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like controlling my own push. I mean, come on. A tug driver should be a big boy. He knows how to push me. I don't need to micromanage his push. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the flight attendants for a safety demonstration. When the seatbelt light is fastened, please make sure that your seatbelts are fastened low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the entire flight as you may experience unexpected turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exit. In the event that the cabin loses pressure, an oxygen mask will drop right in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Tighten the straps if necessary and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask first and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it's safe to remove it. In the unlikely event of a water landing, a life vest is located in a pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist and buckle at the front. Pull the strap to tight.
November 552,
X-ray
X-ray
on the red cord only
late maybe moderate chop
If
in
it
the
doesn't
descent
inflate
to
automatically, you may blow into the
33
mouthpiece
to
for
27.
manual inflation.
Alright, well, inspect that. We have a very
Right,
slight
right now. The seat cushion can be used as a secondary flotation device. Please make sure to exit the aircraft as soon as possible and leave your belongings. Once again, all devices must be in airplane mode and your larger devices must be turned off and stowed at this time. Please securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. All of this information and more can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front of you. We suggest reading this and letting a cabin member know if you have any questions. Thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
We have started engine number 2 and engine number 1. Speed brakes are armed. Flaps are set number 2. The transponder is in the TARA mode. The transponder is in the altitude reporting mode. The TCAS system is in the TARA mode. Progressive wind shear system can't be turned on, but we'll move the weather over to system, or the weather radar to number 2. And engine 2 is stabilized, engine number 1 is stabilized. Bleed air is still coming from the APU. We no longer need the APU. It can go off as well as its bleed. Runway turnoff lights can come on. Taxi light can come on. Let's ding the cabin. And we're looking pretty good. I want to come down. Here and get the VOR1, the ILS, and the marker beacon on the speakers.
Delta 2964, contact center 127.37.
2737, Delta 2964, good day.
Have a good day.
Ketchikan traffic, Alaska 4 tree, taxi runway 11, Ketchikan. Parking brake off. Brake check. Flight control check. Full forward, no binding. Elevator full aft, no binding. Ailerons full right, no binding. Ailerons full left, no binding. Rudder deflection full left, no binding. Rudder deflection full right, no binding. Speed brakes, as indicated. Arm the spoilers. Thought I already armed the spoilers. Auto brake to max. Test the configuration. No blue. Gotta climb up this little grade here.
We're ready for departure.
Anchorage Center, Alaska 4 tree, ready for IFR release, runway 11.
Please note, the cabin lights will be dimmed for departure and landing. If you require additional lighting, there's a leading light on the panel above you.
1,600, then turn to intercept course. Climb and maintain 3,000 feet. Release for departure void at 1411 Zulu. Advise with alternate intentions no later than 1416 Zulu. Time now is 1404 Zulu.
Alaska 43 released for departure runway 11 after takeoff. Maintain heading 116 until above 1,600, then turn to course. Climb and maintain 13,000 feet. Release for departure void at 1411 Zulu.
Strobes on, landing lights on. Let's start the clock. Looking for traffic on final. Ketchikan traffic, Alaska 4 tree, taking runway 11, northbound departure, Ketchikan. And at the runway, let's set for flex takeoff. Into the flex.
November 8, Kilo Charlie, just maintain a total of 22022.
220, Kilo Charlie.
V1 rotate. Positive rate. Gear up.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
Flaps up.
Too low, terrain.
Flaps up.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
My flaps lever didn't work. Okay. Autopilot on. And managed heading, managed altitude. We're going to move the throttles into the climb lever position. After takeoff checklist, flaps are up, spoilers are disarmed, throttles in the climb position, landing gear up. I must say, the Airbus goes into autopilot smoother than the Boeing.
Alaska 43 climb and maintain flight level 210.
Climb and maintain flight level 210 Alaska 43.
approaching 10,000 feet. Landing lights can come off. Taxi lights can come off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated and do not congregate in the galleys or near the lavatories. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, you will be required to pay a small fee. We do offer complimentary in-flight TV thanks to our partners. Connect to the Wi-Fi to find out more information.
We'll see how smoothly the aircraft handles this.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten
over
seatbelt
90-degree
sign.
turn.
You can now get up and move around the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
And we'll cycle the seatbelt switch so the flight attendants can get up and do their job. I'm liking the way the Phoenix is...
ADC, Aerolíneas 2820 Center, good evening. Yep.
Phoenix is handling the autopilot better than the Boeing, that's for sure.
Alaska 43, climb and maintain flight level 290.
Climb and maintain flight level 290 Alaska 43.
Calculated top of climb keeps pressing out, which is fine. We are coming upon transition altitude. Transition altitude. 18,200, cross check. And we are continuing the climb, but we're going to pause you until we're ready for the landing instructions and the descent. See you soon. Well, I brought you out of pause here. We have reached cruising altitude. I just thought I would let you know we are not even anywhere. We're still in the infant stages of our flight. But here's the point where air traffic control will give us our descending instruction, our top of descent. And somewhere in this area is where we're going to get our landing instructions. So we need to be prepared for that. The approach today will be the same as yesterday. And just like yesterday when I let the Boeing use its VNAV system to determine the top of descent, I'm going to do the same thing with the Airbus today. So we'll let the Airbus decide when it wants to descend. And we'll see how accurate it can be. So our approach is the same as yesterday, threading through those mountains on the Yeska 6 arrival. And then our approach will be the ILS to 7 left.
Consider Southwest 6011.
Right here. So we'll approach from the west and we'll either get vectors or maneuver ourselves to Ank and then be on the 3-degree glide slope for touchdown in Anchorage. So that is our arrival and approach. I'll let you go until a little further along. We'll bring us on a pause. I just picked up the ILS radio signal for our landing runway. We are 230 miles out from destination. So that's quite amazing.
123, contact center 118.42.
1842, United 123, have a nice morning.
Thank you as well.
I got a company message. I guess I'm supposed to be sending the company some sort of online progress report, but I haven't been doing it. So I'm in hock with the company. It wouldn't be the first time, I'm sure. Guess I'm just a little bit too far out to get that Anchorage ATIS as I was hoping to.
Center Alaska 43 at flight level 360.
Alaska 43 radar contact.
Any time in here we can get our landing instructions. this little island here ahead of us, you can see on the ATC program, it's represented right here. There's our departure from Ketchikan. We've been following the continental shelf. That little island is right there. Here is our air traffic control top of descent. Yeska is about 200 miles away, so that's about a little less than, or a little more than 100 miles away from Yeska. And then shoot the gap, descend, and Anchorage, the city of Anchorage, is on this little peninsula. We're going to overfly the airport. We'll either get radar vectors or we'll use our own navigation to come into runway 7 left. And that's the missed approach procedure if needed. Which it won't be. Ha ha ha. I land no matter what. Isn't that terrible? Shouldn't say that. Should always be ready for a mist. Yeah, I expected to get our landing instructions right around that island. And you can see coming up here right below us.
Jetsetter 914, 345, climbing 410, direct tapping.
Jetsetter 914, better roger.
Here's the airplane calculated top of descent. Right now I have a hard time of correlating the difference between the airplane top of descent and the air traffic control top of descent. They're probably in really close to each other. There's the tilt of the radar, the weather radar.
Stevens Anchorage International Information Echo, 1453 Zulu winds are calm. Visibility 10 miles. Skies clear. Temperature 14, dew point 6. Current altimeter is 29906. Arriving runway 07 right, 07 left, departing runway 25 right, 25 left. Stevens Anchorage International Information Echo, 1453 Zulu winds are calm. Visibility 10 miles. Skies clear. Temperature 14, dew point 6. Current altimeter is 29906. Arriving runway 07 right, 07 left, departing runway 25 right, 25 left. Stevens Anchorage International Information Echo, 1453 Zulu winds are calm. Visibility 10 miles. Skies clear. Temperature 14, dew point 6.
Well, we got our ATIS.
Center Alaska 43 at flight level 360.
Alaska 43 radar contact.
In anticipation of top of descent, I'm going to go ahead and lower our MCP altitude, just like I did in the PMDG yesterday. We'll lower it to about 7,000 feet, but we're going to let the aircraft determine its vertical profile. Ooh, cool. Look at that. Fold out table. I also found out that you can unplug the plug in or unplug the tablet, or you could just go ahead and remove the tablet altogether. I remember how to do that. I don't know if I remember how to do that.
Alaska 43 expect the Yeska 6 arrival with the Yeska transition for the ILS approach to runway 07 left with the AIM transition at Stevens Anchorage International.
Expect the Yeska 6 arrival with the Yeska transision for the ILS approach to runway 07 left with the AIM transition Alaska 43.
We just got our landing instructions.
JetBlue 95, contact center 123.87.
And they are what we expected.
JetBlue 95.
We've been flying for an hour and 21 minutes. It's supposed to be an hour and 58 flight. Approaching top of descent.
Alaska 43 contact Anchorage Center on 133.6. Have a good morning.
Center on 133.6 Alaska 43. Center Alaska 43 at flight level 360.
Alaska 43, good morning. Radar contact.
I think the air traffic control descent is going to become before the aircraft descent, but not by a whole lot. Again, we're going to go with the aircraft. We'll let the aircraft determine our vertical speed profile. About 150 from Anchorage, 150 miles from Anchorage. Should be getting that descent instruction any second. Here's the range of mountains that we'll be crossing over. I noticed that we have a constraint at 9,000 feet, so I'm going to make this altitude 9,000 feet. And here it comes.
Alaska 43 descent across Yeska at 4,000 feet, then descend via the Yeska 6 arrival with the Yeska transition to 3,500 feet, altimeter 29906 at Stevens, Anchorage E International.
We'll cross Yeska at 4,000 feet, then descend via the Yeska 6 arrival with the Yeska transition to 3,500 feet, altimeter 29906, Alaska 43.
Given our descent down to 3,500, and you can see the airplane descent will happen momentarily.
Hey, what are the odds you guys could bring us a snack, please?
Not a problem.
Hey, can we get something to drink up here?
Okay.
Well, we need to go into managed altitude, and down we go. Throttles to idle. We're in the descent. We're actually being very aggressive on the descent here.
AB Sierra Linear 2820, contact center 135.7.
35.7, maybe Linear 2820, good day.
Computer is keeping our, we're in idle thrust, but it's keeping our pitch just under VNE, never exceed speed. So it's shallowing out our descent just a little bit so we don't bust VNE. TCAS has some traffic below us, but I'm sure we won't be able to see it. Nope, be out here somewhere. Now it's at our same altitude. Nope, don't see it. And now we are below the traffic.
Alaska 43 contact Anchorage Center on 119.3. Enjoy your morning.
Center on 119.3, Alaska 43. Center Alaska 43 descending to 3,500 feet.
Alaska 43, good morning. Radar contact. Altimeter 3002.
Altimeter 3002, Alaska 43.
Now on the Boeing, when you're in standard pressure, you can still tune the local altimeter setting. Can you do that on the Airbus 3002? I don't see it changing, but I can do it on the standby. Whoops. 3002 on the standby. Oh. .3002 on the standby, and that'll be a reminder for us when we go into standard pressure below 18,000 feet. I'm sorry, when we go into local pressure below 18,000 feet.
G'day, United 81, flight level 270.
United 81, Ben Roger.
Green dot can float either up or down, so when we're on the green dot, that means we're right on the computer vertical profile. So we're at 23,000 feet. Again, just like yesterday, I'm not sure if Mount McKinley is around here at either 18 or 21,000 feet. I can't remember. 20 or 21. I think it's closer to 20. Highest peak in North America. Of course, one thing that Boeing folks are envious of is the automatic pressurization system of the Airbus. Basically, fire and forget. Don't even worry about pressurization. Just make sure it's set to automatic and don't need to dial at any altitudes. We're shallowing our descent a little bit, getting close to transition altitude. 1,000 feet. I'm sorry, that's 2,000. 1,600 now, 1,500 now. That was 2,000 feet. When I said 1,000 feet, it was actually 2,000 feet.
Definitely 1736, descend and maintain fall 300.
Descend, flight level 300, JetBlue 1736.
Okay, now we're at 1,000 feet from transition. Notice our indicated Mach airspeed is down to 0.52. We were at 0.77 in the cruise. So we're slowing down here as the air gets thicker. Indicated airspeed is about the same. Okay, full 300 from transition. And we will transition.
Alaska 43, contact Anchorage Center on 133.7. Enjoy your morning.
Center on 133.7 Alaska 43. Center Alaska 43 descending to 3,500 feet.
Alaska 43, good morning. Radar contact. Altimeter 29906.
Altimeter 29906 Alaska 43.
Got a change in the altimeter setting. 29906. And let's get down to the CDU and make sure that number is updated. 29906, that is what we have. That's what we got from the ATIS. Wouldn't be surprised if we got some vectors, just like we did yesterday.
Alaska 43, contact Anchorage, approach on 134.1. Good day.
Approach on 134.1 Alaska 43. Approach Alaska 43 descending to 3,500 feet. Alaska 43, good morning. Radar contact. Continue descent via the Yeska 6 arrival. For the ILS, approach to runway 07 left with the AIM transition at Stevens Anchorage International. Continue descent via the Yeska 6 arrival. For the ILS, approach to runway 07 left with the AIM transition Alaska 43.
We have begun our final descent into Anchorage. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
I'm going to go ahead and activate the approach phase.
Southwest 1192, we're trying to slow down to 210, just need a little relief on the Botox restriction.
Southwest 1192, roger. Don't worry about the altitudes, I just need that speed.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Coming up to 10,000 feet. Couple things happen at 10,000 feet. We can go into Christmas tree mode, all lights, landing lights, taxi lights, runway turnoff lights on. We also go into sterile cockpit mode. No unnecessary or non-aviation related conversations. Okay, that's 10,000 feet. Runway turnoff lights on. Landing lights on. Taxi lights on. Continuous fire on the engines. Ah, come on, baby. There we are. Continuous fire on the engines. Arrival performance. Refresh the METAR. Variable winds, 10 miles visibility, 14 on the temp, 6 on the dew point, 2996 on the altimeter. Dry runway. Auto land. Flap full. Medium on the brake. Max reversers. Auto throttle on. I don't want to give us any faults, that's for sure. Runway 7 left. Landing weight. 61.6. Okay. So, looks like we're going to get...
Alaska 43 turn left heading 251 vectors to the ILS approach for runway 07 left at Stevens Anchorage International. Heading 251 vectors to the ILS approach for runway 07 left Alaska 43.
251.
South 888, can I approach 126.6?
26.6, South 888, good day.
Yeah.
And we're in heading mode. Always more interesting when we get vectors. There's the airport. There's Anchorage behind us. The dotted course is the computer course. We're on vectors, so we're not. If we were managed flight, these lines would be solid. But we are being vectored. For 3,500 is our level out altitude here. Webby and Wugsy are the procedure time. If we were on managed flight, this lines would be solid and we would be making a procedure turn onto final. And we're making vectors onto final.
Number 707 Whiskey, traffic 1 o'clock, 2 miles northwestbound, altitude indicates 12,500. Passing off you right now. Station 707 Whiskey, traffic no factor.
So, we passed Yeska. We're on our way outbound for the ILS runway 7. And we'll get vectors onto Ank. Standard 3-degree glide slope. Should be pretty fun. Of course, yesterday we were on vectors and air traffic control forgot all about us, started sending us out into the Pacific Ocean. We ended up having to turn on our own. Might have to do that again today. Looks like there's an aircraft 100 feet below us off of our right wingtip. I don't see him. Now he's at our same altitude. We're being sent out across the ocean. So I'll tell you what, here's what air traffic control is trying to do. We are on this outbound right here. They should give us a turn to base and turn to final. But that's not happening yet. So I'm going to take it upon myself to make that turn to 070.
Alaska 43 cleared for ILS to runway 07 left, fly heading 045 to intercept final. Cleared for ILS approach to runway 07 left, fly heading 045 Alaska 43.
Well, better late than never, right? Let's arm the localize. Oh, let's go to flight directors on, landing system on. Arm the localizer. Arm the approach. We'll go into dual autopilot.
.497, safe speed.
230.
497, maintain that till advised, please.
Maintain it till advised, American 497.
We have localizer lock. Glide slope is coming
Alaska
in.
43 altimeter 29906 at Stevens Anchorage International Contact Tower on 118.3. Have a good morning. Altimeter 29906 Tower on 118.3 Alaska 43. Tower
Glide
Alaska
slope lock.
43 inbound for ILS approach runway 07 left.
Alaska 43 good morning. Radar contact. Continue ILS to runway
Cat
07
3 dual.
left, call when established on final.
Continue ILS to runway 07 left, will call when established on final Alaska 43.
Descending on the glide slope. Anchorage Tower, Alaska 43 on final.
Alaska 43 winds are clear to land runway 07.
Cleared to land runway 07 left Alaska 43.
Give me one on the flaps.
2,500.
2 on the flaps. Yeah, we're a little over speed. Gear down. Three on the flaps. Four on the flaps. We have full flaps. We're approaching reference speed. We have the MDA of 200 AGL. Cat 3 dual autopilot land. Stabilized at 13,000.
FedEx 618 Heavy, con departure. With departure FedEx 618 Heavy.
Land. Auto land.
300.
Continue. We are on the reversers.
Alaska Fold 3 exit runway Wonderland.
That's how you land an aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Anchorage. The local time is 7:50 a.m. and it's currently about 59 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins, as items may have been shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
Clear of active, Alaska 4 tree.
Alaska Fold 3 contact ground on 121.9 in your morning.
Ground on 121.9 Alaska 43.
APU 1, 2, 3. APU on. APU bleed. Anchorage ground, Alaska 4 tree. Request taxi to the gate.
Alaska Fold 3 taxi to Gate Alpha 11 via taxi base kilo.
Taxi to gate Alpha 11 via taxiways Kilo, Alaska 43.
Didn't have much luck finding a gate yesterday. Oh my goodness, am I even on the right side of the airport? I don't see any gate. I probably Taxiing to the wrong part of the airport. How embarrassing.
Taxi with information. Again.
And the UPS calling for taxi, taking the call sign 1302 heavy, was it?
Affirmative.
Okay, we have any stands over here? Any jet bridges? There's a jet bridge right there. I'll take this one right. Nope. Nope, that's not available. What are all these cargo airplanes parked at jet bridges for? Well, we're just gonna park where we parked yesterday, right? Oh, what's here? How about right in here? No, that's not a. No, that's not a space. Well, darn it. That's it. We're just going to have to let folks off here. I'm going to just end this video, and we'll have to worry about parking on another day. Thanks for joining me, folks. Have a great day.